Hey everybody, Ryan here. Alright, gonna be going over the player stats as of February 14th, 2021. These were done before the two games for today, so if there's any change in these due to the game today, sorry about that, but I did these before the games. Alright, starting off with goals. We have in the lead Austin Matthews has 11 goals in 14 games. He is followed up very closely by Brock Besser and Tyler Toffoli with 10. So that's where we sit with the top only guys who have had 10 or more goals so far. 9 goals from Pavelski, McDavid, Marchand, Ehlers, Josh Anderson. 8 goals from Draisaitl, DeBrincat, and Gaudreau. Honestly, I think the most surprising people in those top 11, it technically is probably Tyler Toffoli. I don't think he's ever been this high up in the goal scoring this early in the season, but he's always played for LA, which was not known for the goal scoring. So I think being with Montreal is definitely benefiting him. And also Josh Anderson. Considering the guy that played 20 or 30 games last year had 1 goal, this is just amazingly better, having 9 goals already in 15 games. That's a huge jump right there, but he also is healthy and with a better team. Offensive team, I should say. Not better team. Well, technically a better team anyways, but better offensive team. So he gets to do more. So that's where we sit with the goals. Only 3 people with 10 or more goals. So we'll see where we end with this. But also Nikolai Ehlers, I'm kind of surprised. He's had a really good start to the season for Winnipeg there. That's a really good start for him. Alright, on to assists. Shocker, Connor McDavid leads in assists. 19 assists already in 16 games. Leon Draisaitl is next. Shocker as well. 18 assists. Quinn Hughes, 16 assists. He's had a great start to the season, even though Vancouver has been really meh the last 6 out of the 7 games that they played. But he actually has gotten points in pretty much all those games. Or most of those games. Mitch Marner and Patrick Kane have 15, and Anze Kopitar, a great start for a not great offensive team. 13 assists in 13 games. Nathan MacKinnon, Victor Hedman, Mark Stone, and Mark Scheifele all had 12. So that's your leaders in the top 10. And I say Kopitar will be the biggest surprise just because they're not a great offensive team. So good on him for doing what he's done so far. Quinn Hughes, kind of a surprise because he is a defender, and with how bad Vancouver's been of late, you wouldn't expect him to be that high in the assist numbers, but he is. Then of course there's people like McKinnon and Mark Stone who have been held back due to COVID, so they've missed some games. They may have been higher. Alright, on to points. Connor McDavid leads in points, 28 points. Not a surprise. I'm sure he was happy for his teammate last year winning the Hart, but I'm sure he wants to get that back, as well as the Art Ross Trophy. I would not be surprised if he tries for both of those this year. Leon Draisaitl is next with 26 points. Patrick Kane having a great start to the year, 22 points. Mitch Marner also a great start, 22 points. Patrice Bergeron, James Van Riemsdyk, Brad Marchand, Quinn Hughes, and Mark Scheifele all have 18 points. Then to round out the top 10, because it's a tie for 10th place, Joe Pavelski, Anze Kopitar, Nicholas Backstrom, and Austin Matthews all have 17 points. Probably the biggest surprise would be James Van Riemsdyk. That just came out of left field because it's you don't expect James Van Riemsdyk to do that much, but I don't think Philly's going to complain. I don't think he's going to complain either. If anything, he keeps this up, it's going to give him a bigger payday next time he's a free agent if he can do that consistently, which has been a bit of an issue, getting the same amount of things consistently for him. But that's every player can be said about at times as well. So that's where we sit with the points. We already got someone close to 30 points, almost a quarter of the way through the season. Say about a quarter. Alright, plus minus, Justin Falk is the leader with plus 16. Considering St. Louis has a plus 2 goal differential, I'm kind of surprised somebody on their defense has a plus 16. That's surprising to me, but just because your goal differential is not the greatest doesn't mean that everybody on your team does terrible on the ice. So Justin Falk leads with plus 16. Former Blue Joel Edmondson is next with plus 15. Jeff Petrie and Torrey Krug plus 13. Zach Hyman and Leon Draisaitl plus 11. Nikolai Ehlers and Mitch Marner. And Alec Martinez and Ryan O'Reilly and Michael Dozzato all plus 10. It's amazing, if anything, to see Michael Dozzato up there. Who saw that coming when he signed with Columbus, and we all figured he'd be a 7th defender or in the minors. He's had a great year so far. I mean, only 6 points, but for him, that's actually pretty good, because I think that's pretty much what he had with Anaheim last year. So, plus minus is looking interesting. Penalty minutes. This one was taken over not too long ago, because Evander Kane had led up until this point. He's now down to 5th, or tied for 4th, really. But Tyler Myers leads with 33 penalty minutes. I wouldn't have seen that coming, but he did get that, hit to the head major, hand game misconduct, so that's 15 minutes right there. And then he fought the next game, so 20 minutes right there. There you go. There. And then Mark Borbiewski, Antoine Roussel, 29 minutes. Not surprised by seeing them up there. Ben Sherratt, I'm kind of surprised, has 28 penalty minutes. He took a ton of minor penalties the other day. I know that. They were kind of ticked off about that. Vander Kane had 28 penalty minutes. That's not surprising. He gets a lot of minor penalties. He does a lot of stupid things. And even if you're a San Jose fan, you gotta admit, he takes some stupid penalties really bad times. Really needs to fix that if he wants to help the team. Matt Barzal, 24 penalty minutes. That's kind of surprising. That's not a guy I'd expect to have a lot of penalties. Same with Kevin Fiala. But I know he got a major penalty at one point. But checking from behind, Matt Roy of LA. That's what it was. Oliver Bjorkstrand, 23 penalty minutes. Oh, that's right. He had that fight earlier this year. I forgot about that. Austin Watson, 23. Not surprising there. Tanner Pearson, 22. Oh, he must be taking a lot of minor penalties because he's not a fighter. Alexander Edler, also 22. Jonathan Marchessault, 22. Well, I know he got that misconduct against Anaheim. That counts for 10 of his 22. And Wayne Simmons, 22. Not too surprising. Simmons fights it from time to time. So, that's where penalty minutes are. Not many people care about that, but when you got guys like Matt Barzal, you know he's not fighting. And he's that high up, 6th place, 24 penalty minutes. What are you doing out there, Barzal? You're not supposed to be taking penalties. You're supposed to be out there killing our teams when they take penalties. Same thing for Marchessault, so, I mean, he doesn't fight. But anyways, on to even strength points. So, Connor McDavid leads the league with 28 points. 16 of those are on even strength. That's ridiculous. That means 12 points on the power play. Either their power play is not as good this year, or they just are way better even strength team this year. Leon Draisaitl, 15. Patrick Kane, 15. And Mitch Marner, 15. All good players, so not surprising, but also guys you'd expect to get a lot more points on the power play. Austin Matthews and Mark Scheifele, 14 points each on the even strength. Nikolai Ehlers, Jordan Kyrou, 13 points. Mark Stone, James Van Riemsdyk, and Brayden Schenn, 12 points each. So, I mean, Jordan Kyrou is the only one that I'd say is really killing it even strength, because he's only got 1 point on either shorthanded or power play. He's got 13 points even strength out of his 14. I mean, I don't think he's been playing on the St. Louis power play, which hasn't been great anyways, but hey, you know what? He's doing it even strength. It doesn't even matter. He's having a great year, by the way. Because look at that. 14 points in 15 games. I would not have expected that from Kyrie. I would have figured he'd have about half a point a game, but 0.93, he's doing pretty good so far. Power play points. Connor McDavid leads there too. 12 points on the power play. That counts for all 28 points, so he has no shorthanded points. And I wouldn't play him shorthanded personally anyway. But then again, he could kill people by getting the puck and getting breakaways. So he could possibly be good on the penalty kill. I don't know. Joe Pavelski, 11 power play points. And he's done that in far fewer games than McDavid. I mean, he started out the year with, I think, like 9 points on the power play before he got an even strength point. He has 17 points now, 11 of them are on the power play, so now he has 6 points outside of the power play. Andrzej Kopitar, Dominik Kubalik, and Leon Draisaitl have 10 points on the power play. Quinn Hughes, Victor Hedman, Patrice Bergeron, John Klingberg all at 9 points on the power play. Jonathan Huberdeau, Drew Doughty, and Victor Olofsson of Buffalo all have 8. So Olofsson has not played in a little while, so that's pretty interesting to see his name up there. That's pretty good. Alright, so honestly, Dominik Kubalik has not been playing up to what he did last year, I don't think at this point, at least in the goal scoring. Playmaking he has, but he needs to uptick that goal scoring, personally, in my opinion. But still having a pretty decent year. 12 points in 16 games, still pretty good for this day and age. Alright, Tyler Toffoli leads in the shorthanded points, along with Cam Atkinson. They both had 3 points in the shorthanded. And Atkinson, they're all goals. Toffoli, 2 are goals out of the 3. Nick Foligno, Joel Armia, Arturi Lehkonen, and Brad Marchand all had 2. Then there was a whole list of guys with just 1 point on the shorthanded. It was like, I'm not going to be able to fit them all in the picture, so I'm just going to do through 2 points. Alright, so there you go. That's all the major offensive categories. I mean, there are many more. Like, I could do shots, shot percentage, face-off percentage. But then it's just going to get really, really long if I keep going through all the detailed stuff and going through, like, things like Corsi. That's going to take forever to get through it and explain it. And trust me, I don't think even the Corsi people understand all the things they post. So, let's move on. That's what we got. I'm just going to go with the major categories. And other than that, that's all I got for you for this video. I will see you all next video. Make sure to subscribe if you have not already. Hit that notification bell. Thank you for watching, and thank you to my subscribers. And I will see you all next video. Bye, everybody.